presents Labatt's Blue Jays Baseball from Anaheim Stadium in California. It's the Blue Jays and the Angels. Brought to you by Petro-Canada Dealers and Agents. Our energy is Canada. And by General Motors of Canada Limited. Well, how about those Blue Jays winning 3 out of 4 in Oakland to start this 14-game road trip? But tonight they're running into a red-hot California Angel team who have won 20 of their last 27 ball games. Buck Martinez, what a story the Angels have been.
Well, young manager Cookie Rojas taking over for Gene Mock early in the year has his young players believing they can win. They've gotten over some real crucial injuries. Devon White was out for a while, the center fielder with knee surgery. Wally Joyner starting to swing the bat a little better after a slow start. Overall, the team is taking Cookie Rojas' theories of advancing runners, taking advantage of hit and runs and things like that. And this ball club's playing good right now.
A pitching matchup tonight of left-handers. Chuck Finley at 5-8 will go to the mound for California, and Jeff Musselman, who was just called up from Syracuse, where he was 4-1 in 10 starts, will be making his start for the Blue Jays.
Chuck Finley coming off of 3 weeks out with a bad left thumb. He hurt it fielding a ground ball, and Jeff Musselman could be very similar to Jimmy Key, bringing a spark to this Blue Jay ball club in his first start in the big league this year.
So the Blue Jays 9.5 behind Detroit. The Angels 10.5 back of Oakland. Coming right up, Angels and Blue Jays.
Tonight's starting pitcher, Jeff Musselman. And Jeff, you have been a starter in the past, but what will this mean to you starting now after your surgery especially?
Well, it's going to help me out as far as rebounding back off an appearance as of last year. Towards the end of the season, I was having trouble coming back after pitching a couple innings, and now this will give me an opportunity to get the 4 days rest in between and have Tommy Craig help me get my shoulder ready in 5 days rest instead of going out there and having to be ready the next night. So physically, I'll be a little more fresh each time out on the mound.
Pitching coach Galen Cisco, with Jeff Musselman making his first major league start of the year, will you have a pitch limitation on him, or will we just kind of watch how things go out there?
We will have a pitch limit, Buck, somewhere in the neighborhood of 100 pitches, and hopefully Jeff is going to give us the type of game that he's capable of giving us, and hopefully, again, that he's not too pumped up to pitch that type of game. He's been looking forward to this game for a long time, and there will be a tendency for him to be really pumped up. So hopefully he can give us that kind of game that we're expecting out of him.
Well, the Blue Jays are fired up right now. They won 3 out of 4 at Oakland to start this 14-game road series. And boy, oh boy, if they're going to make hay, now is the time.
They got to do it while they're on this road trip. They can't wait much longer. Things are going to slip right away from them. But this is a good trip. They're playing well, and they seem like a loose ball club. Chuck Finley, left-hander for the California Angels, 5-8 after 3 weeks out with a strained ligament in his left thumb. Fell and braced himself on the AstroTurf in Minnesota, strained his ligament between his thumb and his index finger, and he's coming back tonight. We'll have to watch his adrenaline also. Very similar to Jeff Musselman, first time out in a while.
This is the starting lineup for Toronto, brought to you by Apple Canada. Fernandez, Mosby, and Bell. Gruber at third. Fielder the DH, Lee at second base, and he has been sensational defensively. McGriff, Campusano, and Butera making his second start.
Manager Cookie Rojas, Chuck Finley, the starting pitcher tonight, just coming back from a thumb injury. Just how long do you expect him to be able to go tonight?
Well, I expect all my pitchers to go 9 innings, Buck. I'll worry about it in between. You know, having that thumb like he did hurt him, you know, about 3 weeks ago. He had problems throwing his curveball and couldn't get a good hold of the baseball. But finally, he's starting to feel a lot better. He threw the other day, threw the ball consistently hard and could, you know, really throw his curveball. So I hope that he can go as far as he can.
Backing up Finley defensively in the outfield, Armis, White, and Chili Davis in right, who has made 14 errors. And in the infield, Johnny Ray, the second baseman, is very close to him with 13. Howell, Schofield, Joyner, who's not hitting the long ball this season, and the veteran Bob Boone, who caught his 2,000th game Friday night against Detroit. And speaking of Detroit, they took 3 out of 4 in this weekend series. Left down last night.
Bob Boone has his average up to 289, and he just seems to continue to roll along. All-time leading catcher. Games played in the major leagues. He has got this young pitching staff throwing pretty well, and they're all healthy, and things are positive here in Anaheim. They won 8 out of their last 9 series.
I guess to put that 289 average in its proper perspective, Buck, Boone has not hit above 260 since 1979 when he was with Philadelphia. But his defense, that's the reason they've got him. The umpires in tonight's game, Timmy McClellan behind home plate, Don Denkinger down at third, Al Clark and Drew Coble. So Tony Fernandez makes his way to the plate to start things off here in Anaheim tonight. And this is a series that the Blue Jays must win.
Well, unfortunately, that's the same way the Angels feel. They're trying to get back in a pennant race themselves. The Oakland A's slipping a bit. We saw Jose Canseco leave the game yesterday, and that didn't set too well with some of his teammates. So maybe there's some problems developing up north in California.
Fernandez hitless in his last 10 at-bats. Finley is 1-0 lifetime against the Blue Jays. He beat them April the 30th in Toronto, a complete game, 6-1 victory. Gave up 5 hits, walked 1, struck out 4. Fernandez to right field. Chili Davis will wait for it.
Bob Boone, you've got more games than any catcher in baseball, and a lot of people have concern about knees, but you never have seemed to have any problem with that. Is there a special regiment you go through to prepare yourself?
Well, I've done a very serious conditioning program now for about 13 years, and I've modified it and changed a little bit and kind of have what I really like right now. I've been doing it for about 2.5 years, but I do it year-round. I do it every other day during the season, and it's something that if I can keep my quadriceps strong, my knees stay real solid. And I've had 4 knee surgeries, so it's not like they've been pain-free, but the last several years I've had no problems whatsoever.
4 knee surgeries. Buck, you played 17 years. You have any problems with your knees?
Oh, yeah, I had knee surgery, but Boone incorporates martial art training and some swimming.
Mosby, base hit, right field. So with 1 down, that'll bring up the left fielder, George Bell. That was a seeing eye single.
Well, the thing about this Blue Jay club is everybody's starting to pick up the pieces. Mosby hasn't been swinging the bat that well, but hits a good curveball from Finley and gets it by a good fielding first baseman in Wally Joyner into right field. But the team seems to be getting contagious with their hitting. Couple hits here, couple hits there. Fred McGriff got hot in Oakland. Like to see George Bell do the same down here. He got some RBIs in Oakland, but still not driving the ball the way that he's capable of.
He's hitting .270 against these Angels.
50 RBIs at this point in the season. Not bad by any standards, but well behind the pace he set for himself last year.
Well, he ended up with 134 last year. Fastball that misses low and away.
Boone still one of the best arms from behind the plate in the major leagues. Quick release really gets rid of that. He has very good footwork. He moves his feet very quickly and has a very quick release to second base. Not a very powerful arm, but quick release and very accurate with his throws.
Even at the age of 40. Two balls and no strikes to Bell.
As a pitcher, you're really able to relax when you have a guy like Bob Boone behind the plate, because Finley knows that he has one of the best catchers ever to throw runners out, and he doesn't have to worry so much about his delivery. He can concentrate on making good pitches. Mosby has a good lead.
There he goes, and Bell fouls that one off. Mosby had that base stolen.
Good jump off the left-hander Finley, and Mosby went down there with a head-first slide. Bell got a good pitch to hit. There you see his numbers, 20 out of 26. Good success rate for Lloyd Mosby. I tell you, Fergie, you're starting to feel a very positive attitude around that Blue Jay ball club. It's been a long time coming, but at least it's coming now, middle of the season, and on a very important road trip.
For that man right there, it has been a struggle all season long. Mosby hitting just .236, 7 homers, 27 runs batted in. That's a strike. 2-2 to Bell.
You know, Bell receives a lot of criticism for his off numbers, but that is directly related to the guys around him. Last year, Barfield had a big first half. Mosby hit .296, drove in 96 RBIs last year. A lot of guys around Bell were having big years. When you've got a good lineup around you and they're unable to pitch around you, then you're going to get a lot better pitches. We saw that very well that last week.
There goes Mosby. Bell reaches and punches one to right. Mosby will head to third. Johnny Ray, the second baseman, went to second to cover on Mosby, and that ball you saw went through the hole.
That's what the hit and run will do. It'll cause the defense to cover the bag, and this time the Angels guessed that Bell would be pulling an off-speed pitch. Johnny Ray broke to the bag to cover. Just a little ground ball, but it went all the way into the right field, and Mosby goes first to third, and the Blue Jays have runners at first and third with one out.
Now the top RBI man on the Blue Jays, Kelly Gruber, steps in. He's on a 4-game hitting streak. Gruber hitting .257 this season against these Angels. Lines it to left center. It's going to drop in. Mosby will come in to score. They're waving Bell home. Here he comes. And Bell does not have to slide. The Blue Jays lead it 2-0.
Kelly Gruber continues to get key hits in run-scoring situations as Cookie Rojas doesn't seem to be too rattled. Checking with Marcel Latchman, the pitching coach, and Gruber jumps on Finley's first pitch, a fastball down out over the plate, and drives it all the way to the wall in left center. Tony Armas over, scoops at it, misses it the first time, but Bell running hard all the way from first base. Watch how Gruber really goes after this pitch, stays down. Great picture of a good extended swing by Kelly Gruber.
Cecil Fielder steps in. Takes a strike. Fielder 0 for 3 off Finley this season. That'll even up the count of the ball and the strike.
Fielder at .263 with 7 homers, 19 RBIs. He's been the regular right-handed DH since Juan Benitez was released.
He's hit 6 of those homers in the last 17 ball games. That's hit down the right field line. Chili Davis over. He can't get to it. It goes by him. And let's watch Fielder. See if he can hustle into third. He's chugging around second, and Cecil's got a triple.
Cecil Fielder's going to have to call time and get his breath. John McLaren giving him a little breather over there and saying, "That away, Big Daddy." He took a breaking pitch out away from him and stayed right on it. Good piece of hitting by Cecil Fielder. He just took what Finley gave him. He had that breaking pitch outside. Chili Davis having a tough time in the outfield this year. Made 14 errors already and let that one get away from him. But Fielder will be credited with a triple.
So Davis does not get an error. It is 3-0, Toronto leading. Just one down here in the first inning, and Manny Lee faces the left-hander Finley. And he doesn't waste any time going after a pitch.
Rojas knows that his ball club is not the type of club that can score an awful lot of runs in big bunches, and he's drawn his in his defense in the infield. They'll try to cut off Fielder at the plate on a ground ball as you look at Manny Lee's numbers.
Manny hitting .326 from the right side.
There's a look at the infield defense as Finley got a good breaking pitch over there. Howell at third, in on the grass, as is Schofield. At shortstop, second baseman Johnny Ray and Wally Joyner playing in, trying to cut off that potential run at the plate.
Going away. A ball and 2 strikes.
Cookie Rojas has his team on a hot streak right now, and he's been very patient with the young players, saying, "Hey, I know you're talented, and we've got some injuries early in the season. Just be patient, and things will come together," and that's what they've done here in July.
Out into right field, base hit. That'll score Fielder. 4-0 for the Toronto Blue Jays.
We talk about hitting being a contagious thing as Marcel Latchman, the pitching coach, will run out and talk to his left-hander who's having a rough go of it.
5 consecutive base hits. A single by Mosby and Bell and Gruber, a triple by Fielder, and now an RBI single by Manny Lee.
They're giving Cecil Fielder a tough time in the bullpen about that, in the dugout about that triple.
Gene Mock is here watching tonight's ball game, the former Angel manager. He's not very happy about what has happened here in the first inning.
Neither is Cookie Rojas. High expectations, finally getting Finley back after being out for 3 weeks, and he sees him give up 5 hits in a row and 4 runs. And has only retired 1 batter here as he gets ready to face Fred McGriff.
Finley has pitched into the 7th inning or later in 11 of his 16 starts. There's a base hit by McGriff. Manny Lee will stay at second. Well, how about these Blue Jays? They have exploded here in the first inning.
We talked about the feeling, hey, we can win this thing. Let's just get back. Ernie Witt alluded to the fact the attitude had to change. Latchman making a call down the bullpen. They're going to have to start something. As McGriff jumps on Finley's first pitch, pulls it by Joyner, who was holding Leon at the bag at first. And Cookie Rojas has to start somebody now. He doesn't have a chance. He says, hey, they're only throwing 2 pitches. They haven't changed speeds. He's going fastball and hasn't thrown any changeups or anything else, and these guys are just wailing away.
Campusano, the hitter.
The concern with Finley with that injured thumb is that he wouldn't be able to grip that curveball and really put pressure on there appropriately to make it curve, and he hasn't had the opportunity to throw too many breaking balls tonight.
Lee at second, McGriff at first. Hit deep to left. Back at the wall. He can't make the catch. Is Armas. Lee will come in to score. Here comes McGriff. Campusano hustles into third. He is safe.
Tony Armas got his foot stuck in the fence out there trying to track down Campusano's triple. And it could have been a very dangerous accident as Campy jumps all over this fastball. Watch Armas now as he goes up on the wall. He's been playing outstanding defensively. He goes up there and then gets his leg stuck in the padding there, can't get it out, and he's very lucky that he didn't get an injury on that situation. If he stumbles and leaves his leg hanging up there, that's very similar to the way Bobby Valentine broke his leg in this very same fence here in Anaheim several years ago. He got his foot stuck up on the wall and then fell back and broke his leg.
Sal Butera, he hits it to Schofield, who makes a nice play, and they finally get Butera for the second out of the inning. Well, and it took a pretty good play by Schofield.
And the fans are giving a mock round of applause for Finley because he finally got the second out of the inning. And Schofield has really done a job at shortstop for Cookie Rojas' Angels, and he had to make a fine backhanded stab of that ball off the bat of Sal Butera.
Well, Fernandez started everything off in the first inning, and he flied out to Davis in right. So with 1 down, the Blue Jays scored 6. Now Fernandez up there again. Well, the Blue Jays in the first 3 innings against Oakland yesterday scored 9 runs. 7 base hits so far. That pitch is low. 2 balls and no strikes to Tony.
It's been a good night for the hitters already.
Three-0. To center field, Devon White will make the catch for the final out. The Blue Jays with 6 runs on 7 hits. You're watching Labatt's Blue Jays baseball on TSN. We're looking at the standings here in the East Division. The Yankees were leading 7-2 in the 9th against Texas, and that is a final score now. So that's what they look like. Detroit up in Seattle tonight. Blue Jays 9.5 games back, so the Yankees have moved to within a half a game of Detroit. As far as the West is concerned, Oakland with a 3-game lead over Minnesota. And look at California, a team that have won 20 of their last 27. They are 10.5 back, and by no means out of it. Jeff Musselman, his first start, he was 4-1 at Syracuse. Lifetime against these Angels, he's 1-1. He has made 5 appearances, all in relief against California. And what a way to start a ball game with a 6-run lead. That's the lineup he'll be facing, brought to you by Apple Canada.
For the Angels, Devon White in center, Johnny Ray, the second baseman, Brian Downing's the DH, Chili Davis in right field, Wally Joyner over at first base, veteran Tony Armas in left field, Dick Schofield's the shortstop, Bob Boone behind the plate, and Jack Howell's the third baseman.
And you've had a chance to see most of them in action here in the first inning. Now, what about Musselman? Fastball, curveball, he changes speeds a lot.
Fastball, curveball, sliders. You look at Devon White's average, 5 home runs, 23 RBIs, but Musselman out of the starting slot now can use all of his pitches a little more effectively. There's a curveball beaten on the
base hit, center field. This could be a long night. They almost get him at first. Had McGriff been able to hold on to that ball.
Big turn around the base at first base.
Number 3, second baseman.
Bell, Capusano, Mosby in the outfield. Gruber, Fernandez, Lee, and McGriff. And Sal Butera, who just called up from Syracuse to replace the injured Pat Borders, making his second start. He had a base hit in the game in Oakland yesterday and made a great play at the plate on Polonia, the left fielder.
With the 6-run lead and Johnny Ray at the plate, Musselman will be hard-pressed not to just throw the ball. He's got to think about all of his pitches, using everything. Johnny Ray's done a good job for this club.
Those 46 RBIs, he has 10 of them against Toronto. Hit into center field, Capusano back, and he'll make the play, and White will head back to first. That'll bring up the DH, Brian Downing.
Number 5. The designated hitter.
Downing only needs 2 more hits for a career 1,600. And that is quite a career. 15th season, all in a California, well, not all in a California Angel uniform. By golly, I guess it has been. He was signed by the White Sox. And this is actually his 11th season in an Angel uniform. That ties Jim Fregosi as the longest by any one player. Minnesota losing to Boston. Red Sox trying to make it 5 in a row under their new manager, Joe Morgan.
Chuck Finley looking on. Not a very pleasant outcome tonight. 6 runs in the first innings on 7 straight hits.
Well, I remember watching that complete game that he pitched against the Blue Jays on a Saturday afternoon. Beat them 6-1 and gave up only 5 hits. Oh, he looked awesome that day.
Well, he's 6'6", throws hard. Got a good breaking curveball. Just trying to get his rhythm together after not pitching for 3 weeks. Now Musselman falls behind 3 balls and a strike to Brian Downing. And I can guarantee you this young man's got some butterflies out there. First time, 7 months ago today, he had his surgery. And he's worked hard and got himself back to the big leagues.
This is low and away. So Downing on with a walk. White goes to second, and the batter will be the right fielder, Chili Davis, who leads this club in RBIs.
Right fielder,
12 home runs.
Davis.
Has done a great job offensively.
He's on an 11-game hit streak at almost 500, 488. You see his numbers up to 283. 12 homers, 56 RBIs. As you say, he's doing a fine job from the plate. Switch hitter batting right-handed against Musselman.
A couple of weeks ago, named the American League Player of the Week. Blue Jay manager Jimmy Williams
We saw this picture a little bit yesterday when the Blue Jays jumped out to an 8-run lead, and a young pitcher on the mound, Todd Stottlemyre, couldn't get him 5 innings of starting. And Jeff Musselman got himself in a bit of a jam here in the first inning. Davis going after a high pitch.
Musselman ahead, no balls, 2 strikes. Chicago over San Francisco, and boy, those Giants are sure fading, aren't they? Expos losing. Can you believe the Dodgers a 7-game lead in their division?
Boy, they went into Chicago, won 5 games against the Cubs. Mets lose today, 2-1 Cincinnati. Musselman looks like he's nice and free with his delivery. Shoulder surgery and a minor tear in a rotor cuff, and a long, extensive rehab program, and a very slow spring training process for him. He was down in spring training with Matt Stark, a couple other young players that were having problems. The runner
There goes Lawrence. The throw by Butera, and White is safe at third. Well, they're still playing aggressive baseball. The fact that they're trailing by 6. And they're stealing third.
Devon White got a great jump at second. Butera makes the throw, has no chance, but Brian Downing was caught sleeping at first base, and he is still in position for a double play, and Musselman and the Blue Jays have a chance to get out of the inning with a double play, and that's what Rojas is hot about. He said, listen, you can't win when you don't have your head together.
A third strike. Has it been called on Davis?
That's what it is. Tim Wilkie. Chili Davis has been called out. He took the pitch, really thought it was up. And Tim Wilkie told him later on that he was called.
Let's have another look at it as you
Watch the pitch now. Oh, they said he went after
it.
it.
They said he went after it. It certainly wasn't a strike. Now here comes Davis. He's out of the dugout. He's going down to talk to the first base umpire, Drew Coble.
He said all the way back there at first, and well, that's Drew Coble's call. He's the first base umpire. He calls on the appeal, and that was his call, whether or not. Now Rojas is all the way out of the dugout. He's going to stand and question the call by Drew Coble. Chili Davis didn't feel he went around on it. We have the benefit of an instant replay. It looked as though his bat traveled a far distance around across the plate.
Remember yesterday's ball game, Buck? Tony La Russa was thrown out in the first inning.
Take a look at this replay as we get the bat out over the plate. That's stopped right there out over the plate. Now Rojas is hot. He's been ejected. Don Dinkinger comes in, and Moose Stubing. Rojas has his team playing well, and he wants to make sure they don't fold up tonight, being down 6 runs in the first inning. He's out there to protect his players. Chili Davis felt that he didn't go around.
Was Cookie like that when you roomed with him?
I tell you one thing, he wanted to win. He was the most professional player I ever played with.
Is that right?
He prepared himself and made sure that every day he was ready to play and demanded everything from himself and his teammates, and that's what he expects from his players now that he's a manager, and he's going to state his mind.
In no uncertain terms.
That's right. Now he's making his way. Drew Coble called Chili Davis out on the check swing. Cookie Rojas went out to back up his player, and you can tell that the fans respect Cookie Rojas and the way he's turned this team around. Now he's going to take his lineup cards out of his hat and turn them over.
Number 21.
And he gives the stool a toss. You see, he keeps his lineup cards in his hat, so he always knows where they are, and he'll pass them along, probably to Marcel Latchman, and he'll be the acting manager. Rojas will have to spend the rest of the game inside.
Back to the ball game. Wally Joyner in to face Jeff Musselman. Fly ball, right field. Mosby will wait for it. Makes the catch at the warning track for the third out. So Musselman gets out of trouble. Cookie Rojas has been thrown out of the game, and the Blue Jays lead it 6-0 after 1. You're watching Labatt's Blue Jays baseball on TSN.
Lloyd Mosby, there seems to be a different attitude on this Blue Jays ball club, taking 3 out of 4 in Oakland. It really seems like the club's up for the second half.
Oh, no question, Buck. I think what we said to ourselves is that I think realistically we got to win 10 out of 14 ball games on this road trip, and we're going to really sink in and really dig in our heels and go out and try to do that.
10 out of 14. Well, they're off to a good start, winning 3 out of 4 in Oakland.
Well, anytime you can come out in the first inning and score 6 runs, it's a positive thing, not only for the club in general, but you saw the way everybody up and down the lineup started swinging the bats aggressively. They walked up, took some good hacks, and ended up with 6 hits, 6 runs, and 7 hits in the first inning.
Mosby with a seeing eye single in the first inning. Just 21 extra base hits for the Shaker.
What the Blue Jays have to do is make sure now they don't sit back. Go ahead, try to battle and score some more runs.
And we'll go back out of play into the stands. Well, it's a ball and 2 strikes to Mosby.
You know, Lloyd Mosby has done a pretty good job in right field since he's moved over there. Camposano taken over in center. Boy, Camposano has played outstanding defense.
The thing I like about it, we haven't heard any complaints.
Not a word about it. That's right. Trying to put all those things on the back burner.
Pretty tough to complain when you're hitting 236.
Appreciate the opportunity to play anywhere.
I think we all know, though, that Mosby's not a 236 hitter. Hits that out into right field. As Armas is now in right field.
George Hendrick is taken over in left field, replacing Chili Davis. And George Hendrick, the veteran outfielder, DH first baseman, expected to have a night off, and he's been forced into action in left field with Chili Davis's ejection.
So Davis out of the ball game, along with his manager, Cookie Rojas. Bell singled and scored in the first.
You can see that Finley is just not really relaxed and smooth out there, trying to find that release point, smooth out his delivery. No matter how much you throw on the side, it's not like pitching in a game. Your adrenaline's flowing, and you just have to get back out there and get some in-game action and really find the groove on the mound. Finley's really searching for that yet.
Bell lines it right at Ray, the second baseman. 2 down. That'll bring up Kelly Gruber.
Third baseman, Kelly Gruber.
Two RBIs in his first at bat. Jumped all over Chuck Finley's first pitch. Hit a double left center. 56 RBIs on the year now.
This telecast is presented by authority of the Toronto Blue Jays and may not be rebroadcast in any form without the express written consent of the Jays.
There's a good curveball. Finley had real tight spin on that. Was nice and fluid with his motion. It's something you have to grab and get a feel for on the mound, that release, that delivery, not trying to overthrow that curveball. Once again,
A high chopper in the infield. Howell. Nice play. So 3 up, 3 down as Finley has settled down.
nice play by the third baseman, Jack Howell. Another one of those young infielders that developed for the Angels, and Kelly Gruber with good speeds, caught by half a step, but the Blue Jays, after that 6-run first inning, still lead it 6-0. You're watching Labatt's Blue Jays baseball on TSN.
That little gal is absolutely attacking. Well, she was there for a moment.
She just wanted to get it out of that cone. Now that it's out, I don't want to eat it. I just wanted to get it out of there. Mom will eat it. Go ahead.
A 6-0 ball game. The Blue Jays leading the California Angels. Musselman has given up 1 hit, and that was a leadoff single to Devon White in the first inning. Armas, Schofield, and Boone will face the left-hander here in the second.
Jeff Musselman began his career in professional baseball as a starter. Last year, he joined the Blue Jays and went to the bullpen and did a nice job. He only started 1 game last year, had 68 appearances in his rookie season. But the wear and tear of pitching out of the bullpen caught up with him, and he had to have that shoulder surgery in December. And it was 7 months ago today.
He was 12-5 with 3 saves. Made the Blue Jay Rookie of the Year and made the Topps Rookie All-Star team.
Veteran Tony Armas has done a job of hitting recently, hitting .375 in his last 9 games with 10 RBIs.
He's an 11-year veteran. Tried to overthrow that pitch, didn't he?
Just trying to muscle it. He's out in front of Armas. And you know, Musselman's going to have a time relaxing with those emotions. 1,200 career hit yesterday against Frank Tanana.
He had 12,000 hits. They bring the Hall of Fame to his
sure
house.
Would. 12,000. That's a ton. Make Pete Rose jealous, wouldn't it?
That's in 11 years. Buck, you played for 17. How many hits did you get?
I think around 600.
For a part-time player, that's pretty good. But that'll put it all in its proper perspective.
1,200 hits is a great career.
Well, I'll say.
Big milestone for a lot of major leaguers, the 1,000th hit.
2-2 pitch. He's jammed. And Gruber bobbles the ball. Would have been a tough play. We'll have to wait and see if they give him an error or Armas a base hit.
I think that'll probably be scored a hit, but I think Kelly Gruber would say that was an error. He got to it quickly, has good range, puts a glove on it, and just can't close the glove. You can see it hit right in the middle of his glove, and with that strong arm, I think that Gruber would have thrown Armas out. And in fact, they do charge Kelly Gruber with an error. I thought maybe the advantage of the home field judgment call on the scorekeeper's part might have been in Armas's favor, but Kelly Gruber is charged with an error.
That's his 8th error of the season. Look around that Blue Jay infield. Fernandez was 7, Lee was 7, McGriff was 4. Pretty consistent.
Well, with Manny Lee's emergence at second, they've done a nice job coming together.
He has really solidified that infield, hasn't he? I think. Schofield, shallow center field. Camposano coming in. Fernandez going out. The ball is bobbled. And they do not get the force at second on Armas.
Well, there certainly wasn't a communication problem. Manny Lee, Fernandez coming hard, and still Camposano charging hard. Went off of Lee's glove, then hit Fernandez's glove and fell in front. Now watch Camposano alertly pick up the ball and try to force the runner at second. Armas slides. Kelly Gruber makes the tag. Musselman says out, but Don Dinkinger, the umpire, called safe. Watch to see if Gruber comes off the bag. That's what Dinkinger called, as it goes off Fernandez's glove. Camposano with a quick throw to the bag at second, and Gruber pulled his foot off, and Don Dinkinger, the third base umpire, indicated safe. So
they're going to give Schofield a base hit on that. Bob Boone, the catcher, with nobody out.
Those weren't boos you were hearing. Those were boons. Boons for Bob Boone, veteran catcher. Average up to 289.
He's on an 11-game hitting streak.
Boone is such a patient hitter at the plate. He'll get a pitch that he can drive to the right side, trying to stay out of a double play. Good high fastball hitter, likes the ball up out over the plate.
He's hitting .313 on Blue Jay pitching this season. Nobody out. Jays lead it 6-0. Ball and 2 strikes now to Boone. Tomorrow night it'll be Mike Flanagan against Kurt McCaskill. Flanagan 9-6, McCaskill 7-5. We'll have that one for you right here on TSN.
Both of those pitchers throwing well at the time.
It'll be a good one.
Time right now. Flanagan off a complete game victory in Oakland.
Lined into the stands.
Souvenir for that fan.
Well, I'll tell you, when you get a ball that's hit that hard in the stand, you deserve it.
You better have a glove.
Armas at second, Schofield at first. Nobody out.
You can see Butera going out there to Musselman with that glove and his hand out front, says, now stay back, don't try to overthrow. When a pitcher gets that adrenaline flowing, he has a tendency to have his body jump out there and his arm trails behind, and that way he leaves a lot of balls up in the strike zone. Butera saying, stay back and let your arm lead your motion.
Little jam shot. Manny Lee, the second baseman, will make the play. He turns and flips it to Fernandez. But Armas is back. So there's one down. That'll bring up the third baseman, Jack Howell.
Batting 9.
Howell has been hot the last 15 games. He has driven in 10.
Howell.
And against the Blue Jays this season, hitting .433. Home run, 6 RBIs.
Jack Howell's taken over for Doug DeCinces, the longtime third baseman here, and Howell just now starting to get comfortable both at the plate and in the field. As we talked about that infield of Howell, Schofield, Johnny Ray, and Wally Joyner. Pretty promising young infield, both offensively and defensively.
Howell hit 23 home runs last year. He's got 6 so far this season.
That ripple effect of Wally Joyner not hitting and Devon White out of the lineup has caused everybody up and down this lineup some problems. Brian Downing, the veteran DH, off to a slow start, just now starting to come together.
That pitch is a little high.
Chili Davis has been the hottest hitter for the Angels. Fortunately for the Blue Jays, he'll be inside the rest of the night. He was injected in the first inning, arguing a check swing call by first base umpire Drew Coble.
That's a strike. 2 balls and a strike now to Howell.
As a starting pitcher, Musselman can rely a lot more on his curveball. It's a very, very sensitive pitch to release point, speed, and to a nice delivery. And being a starter, having the time to experiment out there as opposed to a short reliever.
Hit hard. Manny Lee, the second baseman. They get one. A double play for the Blue Jays. So Manny Lee continues to be brilliant with his fielding down at second base.
Manny Lee has really made an adjustment at second base. Hot shot off the bat at Jack Howell. Watch how quickly he gets rid of it. Fires a strike right to Fernandez, who has plenty of time. Drags his foot across the bag and fires on to Fred McGriff for an inning-ending double play. Nice combination at second base.
So through 2 innings, the Jays lead at 6-0. You're watching Labatt's Blue Jays baseball on TSN.
Cecil Fielder, you haven't had an awful lot of opportunities to face left-handers recently. What do you do in between times trying to stay sharp?
Well, I take a lot of extra BP. Cito just has me out early, you know, on the road, and I just try to get as many swings as possible to try to keep myself tuned for when I do see a lefty, I'll be ready to hit him.
Well, he was ready in his first at-bat, line to triple down into the right field corner.
And really, Davis should have had on the first hop, but he sort of misplayed the ball, but they still gave Fielder a triple. And of course, he'll take it.
You can see Fielder's a little bit upset at himself right there. Went after a breaking pitch when he had a fastball in his mind, and that's what Gaston tries to get these young hitters to do. Have an idea what they're going to get from Finley. Go out there, look for a particular pitch, and don't swing at it unless it's that pitch you're looking for. As a hitter, you have to go in there with one thing on your mind, at least until you get 2 strikes. Make up your mind, either fastball or breaking pitch, and then stay with that.
That pitch is inside. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Cito Gaston sitting on that bat rack inside the dugout, just looking over the top of that fence, keeping an eye on his hitters. Changeup outside and in the dirt. Rojas, who's been ejected, of course, would like to have Finley get some work in here, if nothing else. He gave up 7 hits in the first inning and 6 runs, but he settled down 1, 2, 3 in the second.
That pitch appeared to be out of the strike zone, and Fielder goes down on strikes. That's the first one for Finley. Well, that'll bring up Manny Lee.
Went after a pitch out of the strike zone. A little bit up and away from him. And Finley seems as though he's beginning to feel a little more comfortable on the mound. First time he's been out there in 3 weeks. Injured his thumb. Falling down, fielding the ball.
Well, he now has set down 6 in a row since the Blue Jays scored 6 runs off him. So he has settled down.
Well, with Finley back in the rotation, you combine that tall left-hander with Kirk McCaskill, Mike Witt, Willie Frazier, and young Terry Clark. Pretty formidable starting rotation.
What a dandy Clark pitched against Detroit yesterday. 8 innings, 4-0 shutout.
27-year-old rookie, 2-0 since joining the Blue Jays, filling in for Dan Petrie. I said Blue Jays, Angels, of course.
And he was just called up from the Edmonton Trappers. Happened to be the Angels AAA Farm Club. Should have quite a few viewers out in Edmonton tonight. Manny Lee looked like he was going downtown with that swing.
I tell you, he's really been swinging the bat with some confidence and some aggressiveness. Since finally getting over those shoulder problems that have lingered since spring training, Manny Lee is swinging the bat. He's averaged up to 282 before tonight's game. Just missing outside. The Labatt's player of the game for California will receive the new Canon Sure Shot Multi-Tele with auto-retractable wide and tele-autofocus lens. This fully automatic camera loaded with extras is available now. The Canon Sure Shot Multi-Tele.
Marcel Latchman, the pitching coach, now managing this ball game as Cookie Rojas has been tossed out. Fred McGriff lines it into the gap in right center. Manny Lee will head to third, and White gets it in. McGriff has a double. So Fred McGriff 2 for 2 tonight.
Not wasting any time against the left-handed Finley. McGriff says, hey, I see a good one to hit. I'm swinging at it. Takes this breaking ball and drives it over Johnny Ray's head at second base all the way into the alley in right center. Devon White over to cut it off. Makes a nice play to get it back into the infield. As you saw, it got away from him, but he got it back quickly to keep Manny Lee at third. So Fred McGriff continues to swing a hot bat. He's 2 for 2, and Sil Campusano steps in. He tripled back in the first inning to drive in 2 runs.
Tripled off the left field wall in behind Armas.
Okay, Campy started in center field now. This is his 14th start in a row since they've made the move. And I tell you, his confidence in the outfield seems to be carrying over to the plate. Good swing right there, the breaking pitch.
He really attacks that ball, doesn't he?
Boy, he does. And it just seems as though a matter of time. We expect an awful lot from this youngster simply because he's in the major leagues.
Well, you made that point up in Oakland last week, and you're absolutely right.
He's just learning how to play. He hasn't had the opportunity to play an awful lot of games in the minor leagues, and unfortunately for his sake, he has to learn in the major leagues.
He's only 21 years old.
That's right. But I tell you, he's got so much confidence with his defensive play, and he's making so many good plays in the outfield. Some of this confidence is spilling over to the plate.
That pitch is outside. 2 balls and a strike now to Campusano.
I tell you, Jimmy Williams and the entire coaching staff has really dedicated an awful lot of time to this bunch of youngsters. They take an awful lot of hitting practice all the time on the road. Seems as though every day they're out here taking extra BP. Jimmy Williams will throw for 25, 30 minutes a day. John Sullivan, John McLaren, Galen Cisco, they all come out, throw a lot of batting practice, and everybody comes out and hits. And I tell you, it does an awful lot of good when you see that many players out taking a lot of BP.
Even Fernandez with Barfield today taking extra BP.
And it's a contagious thing. You know, you go out there, you're not swinging the bat, and Cito says, hey, we're taking extra BP, come on out. You know, you might.
Barfield wants to get back in that lineup. 3-1.
You know, this team has been up for so long, such a good ball club, and it's kind of embarrassing for the individuals going through this tough time, and they're all out here trying to improve upon it, get up to where they belong in the standings.
Full count. Well, a base hit here could put this game on ice.
There's Fernandez and Bell.
Liriano there at the end of the bench.
Tell you, he's rooting for his teammate right now, too. He wants to see Campy get another base hit. A couple base hits like this for Campusano. Good drive in 4 runs in his first 2 at-bats. That would be a big boost for the youngster.
He's only got 8 RBIs, now making 10 on the season. High fly ball. Houston will be scored a sacrifice fly. He'll get an RBI out of it. Lee tags, he'll come home. McGriff tags, and he goes to third. So it is 7-0.
This is the type of thing you like to see. Campusano drove that ball on a 3-2 pitch, got it up out over the plate, far enough to advance the runner from third home, but then McGriff alertly saw that it was deep enough and he could go to third. That's heads up. A lot of times players will get out there and say, well, the sacrifice fly is going to score the guy from third. I'll just stand here and watch the throw come in. Jimmy Williams has to be happy about the way his ball club is playing aggressive ball here tonight in Anaheim.
Now the veteran 35-year-old catcher Sal Butera. Sal grounded out to Schofield, who made a nice backhand stab to get him. Butera hit 157 down at Syracuse, where he played in 42 games. He lines that to left field for a base hit. It is 8-0 for Toronto as McGriff scores.
Well, that might be all as Marcel Latchman makes his way to the mound. Chuck Finley in his first start back since injuring his thumb did not fare well tonight, giving up 8 runs on 9 hits in just 2 innings and 1/3, and there goes the call down to the bullpen. But the big left-hander,
2 2/3 innings for Chuck Finley.
had a rough go of it tonight.
Only Blue Jay player to get a pair of hits off Finley was McGriff with a single and a double. Now Clyburn comes in, number 33. Clyburn with a record of 3-0, no saves. And this will be his 24th appearance. This pitching change is brought to you by Skill. Clyburn, a right-hander, 3-0 record, put up 39 hits in 42 1/3 innings, and struck out 22. And while he warms up, Buck had a chat with the catcher, Bob Boone.
Bob Boone, after your playing days, do you have any aspirations of staying on the field as a manager or possibly in the front office as a general manager?
I don't know, Buck. I would really, I know since I've come out of California the last 7 years, I guess, that I really, my love for the game has increased. And when I look at getting to the end of my career, I start thinking about what am I going to do after baseball, and what I really love to do is be around the game, and the parts of the parts of the game that I really enjoy lend itself to saying, yeah, I would like to manage. But you know, there's so many variables that go into that, and there's so many other people have to make decisions for you that I really can't say, yeah, that's exactly what I want to do. If the opportunity was there, if the conditions were right, I would love to stay in the game and in that aspect, and who knows, maybe I will. But for right now, I'm going to play until they
they fire me and take this uniform away from me.
Even though he's 40 years old, I think that'll still be a while. And what about Stu Clyburn?
Stu Clyburn, 3-0 record, 3.61 ERA. He's been with the Angels a couple of times in his career. He's got a little over a year's service. This will be his 24th appearance this year. 42 and a third innings, giving up 39 hits. And he'll come on here trying to slow this hot swinging Toronto Blue Jays ball club tonight. Clyburn, sinker ball, slider pitcher.
He originally signed with Pittsburgh, 31 years old. Don't forget the Minnesota Twins coming into Toronto for a 4-game series. That's August the 1st. And remember that August 4th game is a makeup game. It is not on your schedule. Lots of tickets still available for that series, and especially that Thursday game. The Minnesota Twins, of course, making a move. The world champions, just 3 games back of Oakland. Tony Fernandez made 2 outs in the first inning. He won't be too happy about that one, as the Blue Jays batted around, scored their 6 runs.
He's the only Blue Jay has yet to get a hit.
I could just see him turning and looking at somebody else that does. Is that what extra batting practice does for you? 0 for 2 in 1 inning?
I'm not coming out anymore. I won't see you guys tomorrow.
A ball and a strike.
I came out and saw him in center field. It took me a while to figure out who it was. I thought we had a new player because I hadn't seen him out there.
Well, he had the shorts on.
Shorts and T-shirt, out shagging balls, having a pretty good time of it.
No hat. Ground ball. Ray, the second baseman, will fire to Joyner. They get Fernandez, so he is 0 for 3 tonight. But the Blue Jays lead it 8-0. We head to the bottom of the 3rd inning. You're watching Labatt's Blue Jays baseball on TSN. Detroit and Seattle tied at 3. Tigers got a pair in the first, then Seattle came back with 2 more. Detroit won in the second, and the same as Seattle. So it is 3-3 after 3.5. Bobby Knopf down at first base, and Moose Stubing, the third base coach for the California Angels. And he'll tuck those sunflower seeds back in his back pocket after he takes a handful. Devon White, the leadoff hitter, will face Musselman, and Musselman has been in trouble in both innings.
Well, it's a matter of his just getting comfortable once again. Butterflies, I'm sure, a little excitement about being back in the big leagues. You can see that he's up in the strike zone a bit more than he would like, and I think that's simply adrenaline. He's overthrown a little bit. And I know that he's telling himself, just calm down. It's only another ball game, but it's been a long time and a lot of anxiety about getting back to the big leagues.
You made a good point off the top of our telecast tonight, Buck. Can Musselman give this club the spark that Jimmy Key has done?
Boy, I tell you, you hear so much criticism about the Blue Jays and the way they're playing. They lost Jimmy Key. They lost Musselman until July 18th. And that's a couple of pretty good pitchers to take out of your starting staff. Of course, Musselman not starting until this year, but played such an important part. With 17 wins last year, Musselman won 12 himself. Now you look at the rotation. Musselman, Key, Flanagan's on a hot streak right now. Dave Steve's throwing well. And it appears to be a pretty strong starting rotation. Tom Stottlemyre had a rough go of it in Oakland the other day. It's just a matter of time before he gets it all together.
It's a full count now to White. I like the way Williams and Gillick sort of nursed Musselman back. They took their time, gave him lots of outings, 10 outings down in Syracuse. He's jammed. It's a fly ball to Campusano.
Boy, you can see Campusano is so relaxed in the outfield. He's confident that he has the ability to play in center field and play well out there. Just a matter of time before he gets that same confidence and takes it to home plate. But getting back to the Musselman deal, Fergie, you're exactly right. Very easily, Jimmy Williams could have panicked and said, hey, Pat, I need Musselman back right away. But Pat and Jimmy both knew that Musselman's future is a long one and a bright one, and they didn't need him right away. They wanted to make sure that he was 100% sound.
He's jammed on that pitch, too, and Fernandez will get Johnny Ray, the second baseman. So he's 0 for 2 tonight. And that'll bring up the designated hitter, Brian Downing. Downing walked back in the first inning. 8-0. Toronto leading California in the first game of this 3-game series. Tomorrow night, Flanagan will face McCaskill. We'll have that one for you at 10:30 Eastern Time. And then Jimmy Key against Mike Witt on Wednesday night. And that game will be televised on CTV. So for all you Blue Jay fans, lots of action this week.
Downing, the DH, hits out of an open stance. That high in the air. Watch how he goes into the ball as Musselman delivers it. He'll step towards the plate. Wails away at it. He is one of the few ball players that is an advocate of free weightlifting. No Nautilus machine for this guy, and you can see what it's done for him. Look at the size of those arms. An awful lot of success. Since coming to the Angels.
50 to left. Bell back. It's off the wall. Bell gets the ball back in, and Downing is in with a double. That's the first extra base hit off Musselman with 2 down. That'll bring up not Chili Davis, excuse me.
Strength. Brian Downing just muscled this ball, thought it had a chance to go out. As he looked at it, George Bell does a nice job playing the carom. Gets it back quickly. He knows he's got a shot at Downing. But Downing, hustling all the way, slides into second base with a 2-out double. Ryan's Brigade, very popular player out here in Anaheim. Works with the 65 Roses Club, supporting cystic fibrosis. Great charity a lot of ball players are involved with.
George Hendrick, the batter. Came in when Davis was tossed out of the ball game. Hendrick with 4 hits in his last 7 plate appearances.
George Hendrick has a batting style very similar to the great Hank Aaron. He stays back really nice and fluid and throws those hands at the ball. Very quick bat. Not a whole lot of lower body movement, but boy, he just snaps those wrists at that ball.
One thing Musselman has been doing very consistently, I think, is getting that ball into the right-handed hitters.
He's got a sneaky fastball. You know, he's not a very big guy out on the mound, just 5'11", but his ball jumps on you. He's got a nice, smooth delivery, and the ball jumps out of your hand, and it really gets on hitters. You don't think that he's going to throw as hard as he does.
That'll go up into the stands.
Hitters call that sneaky fast, where you kind of get lulled to sleep by a very deliberate motion from the pitcher. And Musselman has enough velocity to get inside on a lot of good right-handed hitters.
No balls, 2 strikes to Hendrick, who's been around in his 18th season. Played for Oakland, Cleveland, San Diego, St. Louis, Pittsburgh, and of course now the Angels. Chops that one down to Fernandez, the shortstop. He'll fire across to McGriff for the 3rd out. So Downing is stranded. After 3 complete, Blue Jays lead it 8-0. You're watching Labatt's Blue Jays baseball on TSN. For California, off the left-hander Jeff Musselman, and the Jays lead at 8-0. Mosby, Bell, and Gruber here in the 4th inning will face the right-hander Stuart Clyburn. Johnny McLaren. Boy, those third base coaches, they like those sunflower seeds, don't they?
I think it's nerves. They get over there and they chew on those sunflower seeds. You're always looking in the dugout, get some signs from the managers.
They can make a real mess in those third base coaching boxes.
I tell you, that's something we don't have an awful lot of time to talk about. It's the way the coaches have to come out here, and they take extra batting practice all the time. And Johnny McLaren and John Sullivan, Cito Gaston, they always really put in a lot of hours.
You take John Sullivan, the bullpen coach. I guarantee you every day, if it's a 7:30 start at night as Mosby takes a strike, old Sully will be out here at least at noon, maybe 12:30, maybe even sooner some days. I said, how come you come out so early? He said, well, I hate to sit around hotels. I might as well be at the ballpark.
There he is in the back of the bullpen. He's been around baseball almost 30 years.
On ball to Joyner. He'll flip to Clyburn, and they get Mosby. 1 down. That'll bring up George Bell, who singled in the first and lined out in the second.
George Bell.
So it's another comfortable night for the Blue Jays. Remember, yesterday they led 9-1 after 3 in Oakland, and then eventually won it 9-6 as the A's had the tying run in the on-deck circle. And that's where he stayed.
Big Tom Hinkie with the save in yesterday's game. Made quick work of the A's in the ninth.
Bell with just 3 home runs in his last 37 games, 11 on the season.
As you look at the Blue Jays in the standings, they're in 6th place, 9.5 games back, just 2 games behind the Indians, and that's their goal, just to overtake one club at a time, move up in the standings. They've got plenty of time left.
That's popped up. Johnny Ray out into shallow right field. He'll call for it. 2 down. Well, we've been saying most of the season their goal number 1 is to get back to 500 baseball. Right now they're 2 games under. 9.5 behind Detroit. Detroit and Seattle tied at 3 after 3.5 up in Seattle.
Well, you know, we talk about it all year long, how this Eastern Division is going to tighten up before it's all over. Red Sox playing very good right now. Yankees just a game behind going into tonight's action. Half a game now since they've won. Milwaukee sputtering a bit, but they've won 8 out of the last 10 recently.
Gruber pops it up. Now Joyner, the first baseman, backs up and leaves it for Ray. 3 up, 3 down for Clyburn and the California Angels. Blue Jays still lead, though, 8-0. You're watching Labatt's Blue Jays baseball on TSN. Down in the bullpen with all smiles out there tonight. He won his 6th game yesterday against Oakland, and he'll be our guest tonight on Extra Innings. There's the number. Mark it down. 445-1811. Give us a call, collect.
Ask them what they do to pass time down in the bullpen when this club has an 8-run lead, knowing that they'll probably not have to be pressed into duty.
What a season he is having. 6-0 with 7 saves. Joyner, Armas, and Schofield against Musselman here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Wally Joyner flied out to right field. Mosby in the 1st inning.
Joyner got off to a bad start simply because the opposing pitchers would pitch around him. Nobody else in the lineup was a threat at that time, and Joyner just was not getting anything to hit.
Here's a guy who had 34 home runs last year, and he has just 5 so far and 45 RBIs.
Well, today Tony Armas is batting behind him, and Armas is swinging a hot bat, batting .375 over his last 10 games. Chili Davis has been hot hitting ahead of him, so it's made a big difference.
Joyner draws a walk. And for Musselman, that is the 2nd walk he has given up tonight. So that'll bring up Armas. He got on in the 2nd inning with an error charged to Kelly Gruber. Armas started the season out in Edmonton last year. And he was called up, played 28 games with the Angels, and went to spring training this year, made the ball club. You know, it wasn't too long ago this guy led the major leagues in home runs back in '84. He hit 43.
Always been a free swinger. Went back in '84 with the Boston Red Sox. Big year, 43, 123 RBIs, and then the year before that.
Remember, Buck, last time we were here, he took a home run away from Ernie Witt right center field, if I'm not mistaken.
For a big guy, he gets around well in the outfield, and Rojas told me today he's playing very well out there right now.
Cookie's like Jimmy Williams, though, isn't he? He hasn't got a bad word to say about anybody.
Well, he'll tell you when you're not doing a good job. He'll tell you one-on-one and not embarrass you, but you'll certainly hear about it.
Well, that's the same with Williams.
That's right.
How he handles his players. High fly ball, center field. Camposano will back up a few steps. So with one down and Joyner down at first, Dick Schofield, the shortstop, who singled in the second, will step into the batter's box. Schofield in his 5th season, just 25 years of age. Pretty good defensive shortstop, isn't he?
Very smooth, underrated player. Doesn't look very flashy in the field, but makes all the plays, catches everything he gets to, and has a lot better range than people realize.
He pops it up in the infield. McGriff will go over in front of the Blue Jay dugout. 2 down. Now the catcher, Bob Boone, will try Musselman. Musselman has had a runner on at least one every inning.
You know that he's out on that mound wanting to jump for joy, just simply being back in the big leagues.
You got it. Boy, he walked into that Blue Jay dressing room tonight, and he had a smile from ear to ear.
Just thrilled to be back. It's a lonesome feeling trying to come back from an injury.
Milwaukee beating Kansas City 6-1. Birkbeck the winner. Bannister took the loss in that one. It's tied in the 6th inning. Detroit and Seattle as Terrell against Trout in that one. And Oakland leading Cleveland 5-2. Burns pitching for Oakland. Scott Bales for Cleveland. 2 balls and a strike to the catcher, Bob Boone.
Speaking of Musselman and his rehab, you know, when you have an injury and you're working hard and you're away from the team, it's like you're not even part of the organization. You're just forgotten about. You don't belong. You have to do everything on your own. It's really a lonesome time. I can vouch for that. I went through that a couple of years ago, and it takes an awful lot of dedication, and Musselman's a newlywed, and his wife had to be there to help him through it. Keep him up because the progress is so slow and it takes so long.
It's a full count now. Boy, I can remember you, Buck, working every day, and come in, you'd be in the trainer's room, you'd be doing all sorts of exercise. You kept saying, you're coming back and you're going to play, and everybody said that was the end of your career. You'd never make it back.
But you know, when you have something taken away from you, and you realize how good it was, and that's the way Musselman feels. He pitched in the major leagues last year, was a very important part of a good ball club, and it was taken away from him from surgery, and then he had to work hard to get it back. And when you come back, then you appreciate it a little bit more. And in the long run, it might really be a valuable lesson for Jeff Musselman.
He fouled that pitch off. The bat flew out of his hand.
Not often do you get a foul bat.
Whoa, that went up into the 4th row. She's pretty lucky.
Booney will
wants
probably
to keep it. Yeah.
Booney will probably let her keep it.
Yeah, he is. He's walking back into the dugout.
Hopefully no one got hurt. That gentleman right there in front looks like it might have ricocheted off of him. I'm not sure where he got hit, but he's going to go up and have the first aid look at it. But hopefully he'll be all right. That lady back there got the bat in the white sweatshirt. She'll keep the souvenir.
He did the suffering, and she gets the reward.
Now Booney's going to go over and try to change bats. Say, listen, I'll give you a new bat. You give me my game bat. And he's checking with the guy. He said, hold it, I hit this guy over here. Now they're booing him, but he's just going to give another bat.
Yeah.
That's all. He just wanted the game back.
And now was a guy standing there that was he's hurt. He's looking for a bat.
And now Boone says, get him a bat, too. Yeah, he wants a bat. Look at, he got beer spilled all over him. He said, now I can't watch the game, and I have to go up to first aid, and I didn't even get a bat. But Boone, the class guy that he is, said, don't worry, fella, I'll get you a bat, too.
Sure is easy to give those bats and balls away, isn't it? A ground ball in the hole. Fernandez will plant and fire, and they get Boone. So after 4 complete here in Anaheim, the Blue Jays are hanging one on the Angels. You're watching Labatt's Blue Jays baseball on TSN. Titus, do you think that little gaffer right there knows what the score is?
Nope, no chance. He's had a couple of hot dogs, a little bit of popcorn, and a Coke or two, but he doesn't even know who's playing, I bet you. He's just happy to be at the ball game. What do you think, Grandpa? Who's winning? I don't know. This is fun, though. Boy, isn't this a youngster's paradise out here? Mike Flanagan went to Disneyland today and had a great time.
Cecil Fielder, you grew up in the Anaheim area, right around the neighborhood. Do you get kind of nervous coming back and playing in front of the home folks?
Well, no, I feel kind of good about it. You know, I've been coming for the last couple of years, and I just want to, you know, do well in front of my mom, my dad, my sister, and brother. So I just come out here and just try to play hard and just have fun.
His high school coach is here tonight, watching Cecil.
And Cecil tripled in the first inning. And chugged his way into third base.
Very politely put, Ferg. Chugged his way into third base.
9 hits for the Blue Jays, just 3 for California off Musselman. Clyburn has set down 4 in a row. He came into the ball game in relief of starter Chuck Finley with 2 down in the third and got Fernandez on a ground ball. Then he retired the side in order in the 4th, and here he is facing Cecil Fielder. A ball and 2 strikes. The Angels have been averaging about 30,155 a game as the fans here booing Drew Coble, expecting a called strike. That's chopped foul off his foot. Cookie Rojas and Chili Davis throwing out in the first inning.
Arguing a check swing call by Drew Coble, that umpire down at first base.
Could have been a big turning point in this game, too. The fact that White was down at third and Downing was at first with just 1 down. Well, the Angels had a chance to get right back in this ball game after the Blue Jays had scored 6 in the first. Now Marcel Latchman, that man right there, managing the ball club. You saw his brother yesterday coaching in Oakland at first base. Cecil looks at a call, 3rd strike. The first one for Clyburn.
Fielder was in between pitches. Looked like he was expecting Clyburn to throw a fastball and got caught looking at a slider. Second time he goes down on strikes tonight.
I want to remind all you viewers watching tonight, we'll be right back at it again tomorrow night from Anaheim at 10:30 Eastern Time. The Blue Jays are on a roll. Won 3 out of 4 in Oakland. And they're looking to at least win 2 out of 3 in this series. That's the first game there tomorrow night, and then the Expos in Cincinnati Thursday night at 7:30 Eastern Time. The Expos tonight lost 6-1 to Houston. Kevin Bass and Buddy Bell hit home runs for Houston. Buddy Bell's doing a nice job, isn't he, for Houston since going over from Cincinnati?
Houston needed a right-handed bat. Went to Buddy Bell. Bell has done a good job. They're a couple games over 500, 8 behind the Dodgers, and you got to feel that they'll close that gap before this race is over in the National League West.
Matty Lee steps out. He had a single and an RBI and walked and has scored twice.
Fouled a high fastball off from Clyburn. Lee started a double play off the bat of Jack Howley in the second inning, and he's really coming around at second base defensively.
Manny got his 12th walk of the season in the third inning. In about, let's see, about 178 plate appearances. 2 in a row for Clyburn. Freddie McGriff, who's 2 for 2, a single and a double, and has scored twice, steps in.
McGriff, first pitch hitting against left-hander Chuck Finley.
All this guy did yesterday was hit a couple of home runs, 4 RBIs, and the Jays' 9-6 win over Oakland. He now has 18 home runs, 45 RBIs on the season.
Got his average
A couple
back
of pretty good shots, weren't they?
Oh, man.
A rope, a bullet into right field, and a long, lazy fly ball to straightaway center.
Well, you know, he came into the Oakland series on an 0 for 16 skid. And you look at his numbers. 18 homers on the year. Canseco, of course, tied with Darryl Strawberry now for the Major League lead. Strawberry, of course, with the Mets with 24 homers.
3 balls and no strikes now to McGriff. Blue Jays hold on to this one. It will be their 46th win of the season. They've lost 47. Well, if you get Seattle pulling off a victory tonight, the Yankees and Detroit then would be tied for the lead, and the Blue Jays would be just 8.5 back.
Sounds better all the time, doesn't it?
Boy, I'll say it does. Fly ball, center field, back. It is out of here. A home run for Fred McGriff, number 19 on the season.
Clyburn had fallen behind 3-0. Got a strike in there as McGriff was taking, but boy, on the 3-1 pitch, McGriff got one down in his power zone and took it deep to center field. Number 19 for the big left-hander. The extension generates an awful lot of power. He just took that ball deep to center, knew it had a chance all the way. Devon White gives a chase and makes a jump, but it's well out of his reach.
Remember right here in this ballpark when Gary Pettis went over that fence and brought it back off of Jesse Barfield? One of the old-time great catches. You'll see it in all the highlight packages. McGriff had 20 home runs last year, so he's got 19 now, and what have we still got? About, let's see, 70-some ball games left?
Oh, he can hit him anywhere. Any part of the park, in any ballpark.
Capisano hits a fly ball out into right field. Armas will take it for the third out. So McGriff hits a home run, and the Blue Jays now lead 9-0. You're watching Labatt's Blue Jays baseball on TSN.
Lloyd Mosby, is it time just to not worry about where you're playing and just go out there and play good baseball now that you've been moved right field?
Yeah, I think that's the time. You know, for me, I just try to go out, buck, and play hard every day. Of course, playing right field is a different, it's a different field, it's a different environment for me, but I'm going to go out and try to do the best I can. I've already told the pitchers that if anything bad should happen, don't look at me funny. I'm trying my best.
Well, that's all you can ask. Focus on you. Go Jays, go. Hi there, fans.
Is that a relative of yours?
I don't think so. But, you know, that's good to hear Mosby say that. He's been moved to right. Jimmy Williams simply trying to get the best combination at this present time on the field.
We're in the bottom of the fifth. The Blue Jays lead at 9-0, in case you just joined us. 3 hits for California off the left-hander Jeff Musselman. A single by White, another one by Schofield, and a double by Brian Downey. That's it. Now, welcome back, Jeff Musselman.
It was just a couple of years ago, the Blue Jays were very desperate for left-handed pitching of any kind, and now they've got 3 starters. Musselman, Key, and Flanagan.
That shows you how well they did their homework. Fly ball left field. Bell starts to back up, and then he waits for it. Howell is down, and that'll bring up Devon White. A coaching clinic video is available by all you baseball fans or coaches that would like to learn the basic fundamentals of the game. $30 Canadian. That's where you send it. Box 7777, care of the Toronto Blue Jays. The video stresses the do's and don'ts of learning the fundamentals. It's a 62-minute video produced by Major League Baseball. So all you coaches, and moms, dads, and others who are interested in helping out the youngsters learn the game, that's the way to do it. A hot shot hit by White to Gruber, 2 down. That'll bring up Johnny Ray, the second baseman. He's 0 for 2 tonight.
Every aspect of the Blue Jays game seems to be coming together on this trip. They've had good defense. Camposano played outstanding in center field up in Oakland, and Manny Lee has really done a good job around the sack at second base. Kelly Gruber continues to play good defensively at third. The pitching, 3 complete games in Oakland. Hinkie with a save. Everything seems to be coming together, and not too soon by any means.
Well, in a nutshell, Buck, it's pitching. You get the pitching, and that's where it all starts.
Pitching and defense will win an awful lot of games for you. But for so long, the Blue Jays have relied on a potent offense.
Fly ball, right center field, Mosby over. And that ball drops in front of him. I think he held up, looked like he was going to run into Camposano. There was sort of a mix-up there. Maybe it was the lights.
That was the first situation we've seen where Mosby, playing in a new position, wasn't used to the lights. Watch how he tries to shade his eyes from the lights over the third base dugout. He overruns the ball when he lost it in the bank of lights, and that was simply not being used to the ballpark.
So Johnny Ray will have a triple, and that's the light bank that he has to look into.
Every ball player, when he comes into a ballpark, knows his position and knows what to check. But Mosby, just trying to get used to his new position out there, has to get used to the field, the corner down in the right field foul line. Maybe he forgot to check on that bank of lights above the third base dugout.
Now Downing pops it up out into right field. Mosby coming over. He has no trouble with this one. So Ray will be left stranded down there at third, a smile on the Shaker's face, and the Jays lead it 9-0 through 5. You're watching Labatt's Blue Jays baseball on TSN. The Shaker, Lloyd Mosby, after misplaying that fly ball, was talking there with, he's not saying anything, but Jimmy Williams sure is beside him.
Well, Mosby said he was going to give it his all out there, and you just had to be patient with him, trying to learn a new position. You look at Gus Polidar coming on to play second base, replacing Johnny Ray. Marcel Lashman.
He's a guy who has spent 6 years in the minor leagues and was up last year, got into 63 ball games with the Angels. Sal Butera, the catcher, will lead it off. He's 1 for 2 tonight, an RBI single in the third. Hit a rope to left field for a base hit. He had a hit in yesterday's ball game, so Butera has done a pretty nice job last couple of games. Hit down the line, it's a fair ball. Thrown to get it.
Sal Butera, the veteran, called up from Syracuse while Pat Borders recovers from a pulled rib muscle.
Now Tony Fernandez, who is still looking for his first hit tonight, steps in. He has flied out twice and grounded out to Johnny Ray, the second baseman, in the third. 10 hits for Toronto, 4 for California off Musselman. Hit down into the left field corner. That's a fair ball. Fernandez will head to second with a double.
And now everybody in the Blue Jays lineup has a hit. The Labatt's player of the game for Toronto will receive the 14-watt AM/FM 3D Super Woofer with auto-reverse double cassette and high-speed dubbing. Just one of a full line of 3D radios from Hitachi. As well, an amateur baseball team will be the guest of tonight's player of the game and Hitachi at an upcoming Blue Jays game.
Fernandez a double, snapped an 0 for 13 stretch.
It saved him a lot of grief in the clubhouse tonight. Being the only Blue Jay to not get a hit. Believe me, folks, they do things like that too.
Mosby fouls that one off, and that'll go to the stand.
First thing you do, you walk in the clubhouse and somebody will holler out, "Way to go, everybody but Tony."
Who's the guy down there that does the most ribbing?
Oh, Leach.
Yeah.
Leach is right there.
George Bell does a pretty good job.
George Bell, Jimmy Key. Jimmy Key's kind of a hit-and-run guy. He'll just throw that jab in there and then walk out of the room. Steve, he'll go pretty good from time to time.
Only when he's going good.
Rick Leach right behind him. An off-speed pitch Mosby couldn't make contact with.
A ball and 2 strikes to the shaker.
Clyburn's done a pretty good job since coming on in the third inning in relief of Chuck Finley. Finley had a rough night, giving up 8 runs and 9 hits.
Clyburn has given up that home run to McGriff and a double to Fernandez. Off his bat, foul ball. Pretty animated player, isn't he?
The shaker. He enjoys himself out there. You know, he's really had a pretty nice career since coming to Toronto. Last year drove in 96 runs. And he's still a young man, just 28 years old. His name has been bannered around as possible trade material.
You wonder how much that's affected his play, if any.
I think he's pretty much oblivious to it. I think he just kind of goes out and at least he tries to give you that impression that doesn't bother him.
Hit deep to right field, back, and it is a home run for the shaker. His 8th of the season. It is now 11-0.
The only question about that ball is if it was going to be high enough to go over the fence, because Mosby crushed that ball. Really got a big turn on his swing. And the Blue Jays are putting one on the Angels here tonight in Anaheim. Watch this turn. Watch how he completely turns his hips, opens up, gets the head of the bat all the way through the hitting area, and he knows he crushed it. Nothing like that feeling. Feels like you break the ball in half when you hit a ball that good.
Now let's see what George Bell can do. Bell tonight 1 for 3 with a single. George seems to be getting his base hit every game, but he really has not put together any consistency. Long ball, the RBIs.
Sherm Corbett begins to throw for the Angels down in the right field corner.
He's a left-hander who spent some time with the Edmonton Trappers. That's chop foul. Corbett does not have a record. Look at that. Detroit exploding against Seattle. 8-3 they lead it. Carroll's still on the mound. Trout is out of there. And Oakland leading Cleveland still 5-2 in the 6th inning. Bell hits a hot one down to Schofield. Very nice play. 2 down.
There's a great example of a slick fielding shortstop you don't hear an awful lot about. Nick Schofield goes up the middle and takes a hit away from George Bell. He puts a glove on it and then just calmly turns and fires. He's got a strong arm. And Nick Schofield makes a nice play and robs George Bell of a base hit.
Now Kelly Gruber, who hit a rope in the left center field for a couple of RBIs in the 1st inning. 11-0 for the Blue Jays. Wow. 12 base hits. 2 home runs in this game, McGriff and Mosby. Could be 3, and by golly it is. Look at that for Kelly Gruber. His 12th of the season.
This is what you call a good old country whooping. The Blue Jays finally getting untracked and swinging the bats the way that they're capable of. And it just
They sure do look awesome tonight, don't they?
Everybody up and down the lineup swinging that bat. Watch Kelly Gruber get this breaking pitch. Inner half of the plate, Bob Boone knew it was gone when he swung at it. He just ducked his head, and George Hendricks gives a courtesy trot back to the fence.
It is 12-0.
If I'm Cecil Fielder, I'm not going to dig real deep holes when I step in the batter's box now. Just kind of tiptoe in there and say, okay, I know you're having a rough night, but don't take it out on me. Cecil with that triple in the 1st inning down the right field corner.
You heard him tell us that his mom and dad and brother, he's got to be a happy guy tonight.
Sure, he's really coaching well tonight, isn't he? Yeah, the hitters are swinging good.
I think what he should do is just go take his uniform off and take the rest of the night off.
No, he wants to see his hitters hit. He's going to watch them for 3 more innings. What a classy guy Cito Gaston is.
Boy, I'll
Done
say
a great
he is.
job with the hitters. Anytime you hear talk of new managerial prospects, Cito Gaston's name is mentioned. Good player. Outfielder for San Diego, Atlanta, Pittsburgh for a while. He's done a great job since coming to the Toronto Blue Jays as a hitting instructor.
Married a Toronto lady and loves the city. Lives there in the off-season. Base hit for Sir Cecil Fielder. That'll bring up Manny Lee.
14 hits for the Blue Jays. That might be all for Stan Clyburn. Breaking pitch, I said Stan, that's Stu's brother, of course, the catcher. Stu Clyburn. He'll be relieved now by Marcel Latchman, and he goes out there and says, hey, big guy, don't worry about it. Just one of those nights.
Yep. I'm 2 for 2 in that department.
That's frightening. We're starting to think alike.
Boy, that is frightening. So Clyburn is out of there, and the left-hander, Sherm Corbett, will come on to pitch. Now, this pitching change is brought to you by Remington. Corbett spent last season at Edmonton, where he was 6-6 in 42 appearances. And so far this season, he is making his 13th appearance, has logged 15 in the 3rd innings, as you can see. Struck out 12, has given up 18 hits. Left-hander, who's 6'4", 210. And let's continue and look in that conversation that Buck had earlier with catcher Bob Boone.
Bob Boone, your dad played in the major leagues. You've had a wonderful career in the major leagues, and now your son's playing at USC in amateur ball. Does he have aspirations of also playing in the major leagues?
I think that's all he wants to do. Of course, you know, that trip to the big leagues is a pretty long one. He's going to have a chance. He's got a lot of talent. I'm very proud of him. He had a very good freshman year, and I think hopefully getting a real quality education. That's been my main concern, and he's going to have a chance to play professional baseball, and I think he's got what it takes to get a shot to play in the big leagues, and if that happens, you'll see one very proud father.
He certainly has a great example to look up to, doesn't he? Bob
And he
Boone.
had a good example to look up to his father, too, Ray Boone.
But Brent Boone, currently playing for the Fairbanks Gold Panners up in the Alaska League. Infielder for the University of Southern California, which has produced so many great ball players. But that's quite a tradition the Boones have established.
Corbett, the left-hander, delivers from the first base side. Boy, he drops right down, doesn't he?
Got a herky-jerky delivery. Throws pretty hard. With a fastball from that side arm. There's a screwball. Little turn me over. Breaks away from a right-handed batter.
He's a guy who has spent 4 years in the minor leagues.
Out of Texas. To the University of Texas, Texas A&M University. And the 1984 free agent draft for the California Angels always have developed talent through their minor league system. And Corbett being recalled from Edmonton. And gets Manny Lee on strike, so Corbett retires the first guy he faces.
So the Blue Jays score 3 more runs here in the 6th and lead it 12-0. You're watching Labatt's Blue Jays baseball on TSN. The Blue Jays doing a number on the California Angels here as we go to the bottom of the 6th inning. Toronto leading 12-0 with 14 hits. And just 4 hits for the Angels off the left-hander Jeff Musselman. Some defensive changes for the Toronto Blue Jays now here in the 6th inning. Jesse Barfield has gone in to play right field as George Hendrick steps in as face Musselman. He hits it out to Barfield. Will back up a couple of steps and makes the play. The only reason I told you about Barfield because we knew that Hendrick was going to hit the ball to him, right? Now we'll show you the rest of the changes. Mosby in left. Lee has moved from second over to short. Fernandez is out of the game. So is Bell. And Liriano has come in to play second base. Now the batter is Wally Joyner. Slide out to right field in the first inning and walk. You know, if you go back and you look at spring training, who would have thought you'd have had a defense like that out there?
Without Fernandez and Bell in the lineup. But it's a game where you get a chance to get the extra guys in, give them some at-bats. Liriano hasn't had an at-bat for a while, and Jesse Barfield, of course, coming back from the birth of his son, needs to get a few at-bats.
Joyner is jammed and just flings his bat. 2 down. So that'll bring up the right fielder, Tony Armas. Extra innings, Dwayne Ward will be our guest. He's the fellow standing up there. His arms folded in front. There's the number to call, 445-1811. Give us a call, collect. Of course, Dwayne won his 6th game yesterday. He is 6-0 with 7 saves. Just having an outstanding year. Armas goes after a pitch. It's a little low. Get on an error, charge to Gruber in the 2nd, and fly it out to Camposano in center field in the 4th.
You know, you get a game like this from Musselman. Scattered 4 hits through 5+ innings, and then you have the prospects of Flanagan and Key to finish out this 3-game series. Pretty promising for the Blue Jays as they move into Anaheim after taking 3 out of 4 from the Oakland A's. Big road trip for them, 14 games in total. A finish up in Minnesota.
You remember off the top of our telecast, Galen Cisco, Blue Jays pitching coach, told us that he felt Musselman would throw about 100 pitches tonight.
He's right at it. 81 right now, so they're going to keep close tabs on that, I'm sure.
Ball and 2 strikes to Armas with 2 down here in the 6th inning. Boy, what an effort that would be. You get a complete game out of his first start back. Well, if he can stay within 100 pitches or close to it.
There's a look at Galen Cisco.
Al Whitmire, of course, is out for the rest of the season. Al is undergoing another operation on his back. We wish him well, and I'm sure he's watching tonight. You just settle back, Al, and take it easy. 3 up, 3 down. We're heading to the 7th inning. The Blue Jays, mighty happy ball club right now, leading 12-0. You're watching Labatt's Blue Jays baseball on TSN. 12-0. Toronto leading California. 7th inning here at Anaheim Stadium. Freddie McGriff, who has a chance to hit for the cycle tonight. He's got a single, a double, and a home run. Came into this game with a 290 average. We'll have to check on that, but I'm not sure. I don't know if there's ever been a Blue Jay to hit for the cycle.
I don't think there has been.
There hasn't.
Corbett has a good slider. We saw that screwball he threw to Manny Lee. Pretty good velocity on his fastball, running fastball. See that one right by McGriff.
So Corbett has struck out 2 in a row. And that'll bring up Campusano. Campusano triple and a couple of RBIs in the 1st inning. And then he got another RBI with a sacrifice fly in the 3rd, and he flied out in the 5th. So a pretty nice night for the young 21-year-old center fielder. Doug Davis is now behind the plate, catching for the California Angels. The veteran Bob Boone is out of there. Davis, a guy who has spent 4 years in the minor leagues, appeared in about 57 games with the Edmonton Trappers.
Well, the Angels are a bit concerned. Darrell Miller called up earlier in the summer, has some knee problems. He's done a good job for Cookie Rojas, and now he's on the disabled list. They had to call up Davis. Seems to be some interest in Jim Sundberg, recently released by the Cubs. The veteran catcher might fit in well here in Anaheim. All you're going to do here is back up Bob Boone a couple times a week. But Boone, at this date in his career, needs to have some off days.
You made a career out of sharing the catching duties.
It was perfect. Todd Stottlemyre, youngster, looks on. A little disappointed after his start yesterday. Staked to a 9-1 lead and then couldn't finish the job. Only went 4 innings, had to give way to Dwayne Ward.
Ward picked up the victory. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
It'll come together for young Stottlemyre. Hearing the Angels talk about him today, he said, well, who is that guy? He throws good.
Well, you know, eventually he is going to be a big winner on this Blue Jay pitching staff. Certainly it would be easy. It'd be easy for Jimmy Williams to send Stottlemyre back to Syracuse and say, hey, he needs some more work. I feel that he's better off here.
Well, you know, that's the line they've taken in the past with Dave Steve, Willie Upshaw, Lloyd Mosby. Of course, the situation is a bit different in that the Blue Jays are now a winning club, and they want to have winning performances on the mound, but Stottlemyre has shown them enough promise that they feel he should continue to learn up here.
A full count to Campisano. Fly ball, center field. White makes the catch, 2 down. That'll bring up Sal Butera. Butera 1 for 3 with an RBI tonight. Don't forget to join us tomorrow night, 10:30 Eastern Time. Mike Flanagan against Kirk McCaskill. Don't think it'll be as easy tomorrow night.
You never know. This is a streaky ball club over the years, the Blue Jays, and once they get their hitting shoes on, they might go on for a week or so.
Wasn't Flanagan brilliant the other night in Oakland?
Well, once he gets in a groove with those off-speed pitches, that change-up, he spots his fastball so well, not unlike Jimmy Key.
Butera hits a high fly ball to White in center. So an easy inning for Corbett, 3 up, 3 down. And we head to the bottom of the 7th inning. And look at this score, 12-0, Toronto leading. You're watching Labatt's Blue Jays baseball on TSN. Jim Clancy has come on to make his 2nd relief appearance this season. Musselman, what a job he did tonight. 6 innings, 4 hits, struck out 1, walked 2, and he threw a total of 84 pitches, 55 for strikes. Boy, oh boy, what good news. Jeff Musselman is back.
Big shot in the arm for the Jays. We talked about it earlier. If Jeff Musselman can do the same thing Jimmy Key did when he came back, get on a winning streak and really create an awful lot of momentum for this entire ball club.
Now, if they get this guy on track, it'll really be tough. Jim Clancy, 4-11 and 18 starts, 1 appearance out of the bullpen. And that was against Seattle, where he went 3 innings. Shutout ball. That was his first relief appearance since '85 in the American League Championship game against Kansas City, where he lost 6-5.
Well, Jimmy Williams would like to have Clancy get it all together. He would like nothing more than to put him back in the rotation if Clancy can get everything together again. Jimmy Williams, you can see, not regaling in this victory. It's only 1 game.
I'd hate to see him if he was losing.
We've seen him lose before. But he knows that it's a long uphill battle, and he's going to take them 1 at a time. The old cliche, you got to play them 1 at a time.
Ground ball hit down to McGriff at first. Schofield is out of there, so that'll bring up Doug Davis, the catcher. But Clancy now is, you know, he's toyed a lot with his forkball, but now he's using it a lot. I think he can throw it for a strike.
A few years ago, he used it,
yeah,
and he has gone back and forth trying to find an off-speed pitch. He tried a straight changeup, never really got comfortable with it. But this forkball, I'm sure we'll see it tonight, is an off-speed pitch that he's just trying to get comfortable with. He's always had good velocity, good slider, but he's needed an off-speed pitch, and right now he's going to experiment with that forkball.
Ground ball hit down to Liriano, the second baseman. Davis is gone. That'll bring up the third baseman, Jack Howell. Howell tonight 0 for 2. When did you ever think you'd see Jim Clancy come on in relief? 12-0 blowout.
Well, it's an opportunity for Clancy to get some work in and work on some pitches. Jimmy Williams and Galen Cisco would like nothing more than to have Clancy work himself back into the rotation. He's a valuable part of this ball club, and he's just having a tough go of it now. Having problems locating his fastball and really not that effective with the off-speed pitches, so they've had to move him out of the rotation, and hopefully Clance will get it back together.
He's really been a classy veteran of this ball club, hasn't he, Buck, over the years?
He's never heard Jim Clancy complain.
No.
He gives you everything he's got every time he goes out there. And over the years, they've just been able to pencil his name in, not worry about him. He'll give you 225 to 250 innings year in, year out.
That's hit down the left field line, but it'll curve foul into the stands. We got to start looking for Labatt's players of the game tonight. But in the meantime, Detroit hanging one on Seattle 10-3. Terrell will get the win. That'll be his 4th of the year against 7 losses. And Oakland putting it to Cleveland 7-2. Meanwhile, 2 down, bottom of the 7th inning, and the Blue Jays leading California 12-0. But when you're looking at a Labatt's player of the game, you got to look at Musselman. Great job. McGriff, 3 for 4 tonight, a single, double, and home run. Gruber.
Let's give it to Cito Gaston, the hitting instructor.
Gruber had a double and a home run.
Campusano.
RBIs.
3 RBIs for Campy. Up and down the lineup. There's the hitting instructor. Look at him
must
smile,
have heard
huh? Yeah, I did a good job tonight. My hitters came through for me. I tell you, nothing enjoys his hitters doing well more than Cito Gaston. Really proud of the work they've put in. Look out, Scott. Scott Shannon, the trainer. Look at Cito laughing. He got hit with that one. Couldn't even move out of the way. Naturally, being a trainer, he didn't know how to catch it. Cito had a laugh at him there.
Well, that fan sure knew how to catch it. Well, they haven't had much to cheer about tonight here in Anaheim. If you're an Angel fan, just one of those nights.
Well, when you look over the last month, Don Denkinger rejecting the appeal down at third base. Mike Flanagan will go tomorrow night.
What were you saying? He visited Disneyland.
He said it was a great place. Just too many kids.
Disneyland, that's right. I think Disneyland is for adults. Never mind the kids.
He said, I enjoyed it, but boy, there was a lot of kids over there. Boy, he's a character. Veteran of the Baltimore Orioles, Cy Young winner back in '79. He's back on track. Charting the game. He'll pitch tomorrow night. He's had a busy night there.
Full count to Howell. High fly ball. Right field. Barfield will call for it. 3 up, 3 down for Jim Clancy. 12-0 through 7 for Toronto. You're watching Labatt's Blue Jays baseball on TSN. 12-0 as we go to the 8th inning here in Anaheim, California. The Blue Jays leading the Angels. Jeff Musselman is out of the ball game, and he'll get his first win of the season. Liriano, Mosby, and Barfield will face the left-hander Sherm Corbett. He came on in relief back in the 6th, and he has retired 4 in a row.
Liriano with his first at bat of the evening. Came on and replacing Tony Fernandez.
He's 3 for 5 off Angel pitching this year. There's another base hit for him. And White makes a nice play, actually. Knocked it down, got up quickly, and Liriano had to stay at first.
That ball took a little skip. Liriano hit it on the nose, and it skipped on Devon White in center field. He didn't expect it to go as far as he did. Now he has to dive for it. Knocks it down and gets to his feet quickly and keeps Liriano at first base.
Although Liriano has not played that much, give him, let's see, 6 hits in his last 17 plate appearances. He's done a little pinch hitting as Mosby hits a high fly ball to left. That is caught by Hendrick. 1 down, and that'll bring up Jesse Barfield. Bell had a 1-for-4 night before he left this ball game. Barfield, of course, this is his first appearance since rejoining the club in Oakland after the birth of another son. Jesse was out this afternoon taking some extra BP.
Everybody wants to get back in the groove, and if this club's going to make a run at it, Barfield's going to have to swing a hot bat towards the end of the season, make a contribution. They can't win it without the entire 24-man cast all contributing. Right now, of course, they're a long ways from winning it, but they have to get back in the hunt one at a time. They're in 6th place, and they have to go step by step, climbing back up. In the first plateau, as we talked about, the 500 mark. This win tonight will put him within 1 game of 500.
Barfield hitting .266 against these Angels this season. 4 RBIs, a couple of triples, no home runs. Pops that one up. Schofield, the shortstop, makes the play.
Barfield out in front a little bit. A little off-speed pitch. Corbett took a little off, and he pops up in his only at bat, and Kelly Gruber will step in.
You know, after this 3-game series, the Blue Jays will head up to Seattle for 4, and then into Minnesota for 3, before returning home to face the Yankees July the 29th in a 3-game series. Gruber, ground ball to Schofield. So Liriano is stranded. We head to the bottom of the 8th, and Toronto still leads 12-0. You're watching Labatt's Blue Jays baseball on TSN. In Anaheim, 12-0. The Blue Jays leading the California Angels. And there's Tom Cheek in the middle, Jerry Howarth on the right. You can see where they just got their cue to go back on the air. Both do an outstanding job. TBS Radio and the Blue Jays. White, Polidor, and Downing will face Jim Clancy, the big right-hander, who came on in relief of Jeff Musselman in the 7th inning. And Clancy retired the side in order. That one moves out into left field. A base hit for Devon White.
White's 2nd hit of the night. He's come into this game only batting .233. He was out for knee surgery. Inside-out swing, gets it by Gruber down at 3rd base. Devon White switches in center fielder. Does a nice job for Rojas, and he's glad to have him back. Means so much to this ball club. Last year, .263, 24 homers.
Polidor, the 2nd baseman, who came in for Johnny Ray. He's had 3 hits in his last 9 at-bats, and just a utility infielder. Not a bad defensive ball player. He played quite a few games last year. Camposano has to turn and go back, and he's got it.
Great instincts in the young center fielder out there. Boy, you can see that he's comfortable. He turned a couple of different directions. Looks over his right shoulder now. He sees it's further than he thinks and has to turn and go a few steps back farther. But turns around, gets his balance, and makes a nice catch. We've seen him really go cover some ground out there in center field the last couple series.
Remember that play, catch he made off the bat of Mike Gallego? Oh, one of the best catches we've seen this season the other day in Oakland.
Well, he just put his head down and ran to the spot where he thought it would come down. Good instincts. You can't teach that. That's just something that Camposano has. He's got great instincts as a defensive outfielder.
Brian Downing, a double He is walked and fly down. That's hit deep to left. Camposano won't get to that one. A home run for Brian Downing.
Down out over the plate. Downing really got good extension. Clancy knew it was gone when it came off the bat. Camposano gives a good chase, but he won't catch up to this one.
That's the 16th home run that Clancy has given up this season.
That's Downing's 12th home run of the year. He finally gets the Angels on the board with a 2-run homer.
Number 7,
Thad Bosley has come in to pinch hit for George Hendrick. And Bosley hits a high fly ball to center field. Camposano will make that play. 2 down. Wally Joyner, the next hitter. Joyner tonight does not have a base hit. He is 0 for 2 with a walk.
first baseman, Wally.
Bottom of the 8th inning, 12 to 2, Toronto leading.
Joyner came into the game batting .281. Home runs are way down, as we talked about. Only 5 home runs on the year.
Tim McClellan calling balls and strikes. Base hit, right field for Joyner. Well, the fans that have hung around have a little to cheer about now.
Tough situation for Jim Clancy. He knows that he's got a 10-run lead, and he's just trying to throw strikes, get ahead, and then possibly use his off-speed pitches. But the Angel hitters know the same, and they're just sitting on that fastball. And when he comes in there, taking some pretty good hacks at him.
Tony Armas, the hitter. He's looking for his first hit tonight as Galen Cisco looks on. That's his pupil out there now. Al Whitmar is gone, and you heard Clancy say that he was sorry to see Whitmar go because he's been with Al all these years. And of course, when you're struggling, you want the guy that has helped get you there.
Al Whitmar is probably the best pitching coach I've ever seen as far as getting a pitcher out of a bad rhythm. Because what happens is he knows exactly how to get Clancy back on the right track, and that's what Clancy said about missing him.
Hit to Manny Lee, and he'll go to Liriano for the force on Joyner. And we're heading to the 9th inning, 12 to 2, Blue Jays leading. You're watching Labatt's Blue Jays baseball on TSN. Right-hander Greg Minton has come on to pitch here in the 9th inning for the California Angels. He's 2-1 with 3 saves, and this is his 19th appearance. Played 9.5 seasons with the San Francisco Giants. Picked up 125 saves those 9.5 years. Had arthroscopic surgery to remove a bone spur in his right elbow in January of this year, or last year, I should say. In his 11th season, 36-year-old veteran.
Minton holds the Major League record for consecutive innings pitched. 269 in a 3rd inning without allowing a home run. Testimony to his good sinker ball. Possibly the fact that he pitched in Candlestick all those years also.
That
but
wouldn't
he has
hurt.
a good sinker ball. Joe Ferguson was on both ends of that home run streak. Hit a 3-run shot in '78. Last game of the year for Minton. And then Ferguson.
Cecil Fielder getting a chance to face a right-hander here in the 9th inning. And a blowout, 12 to 2 for Toronto. Ground ball hit down to Polidor. The Second baseman, one down.
Well, I said it was Ferguson on both ends. It was a catcher on both ends who did it to Greg Minton. John Stearns ended the streak in '82, so it spanned 3 complete seasons.
Manny Lee tonight is 1 for 3. Has struck out a couple of times and walked. You know, the Blue Jays are currently in a 23-game stretch against the West. And with this win here tonight, they'll be 7-7. 2 more games against the Angels, and then 4 in Seattle and 3 in Minnesota. And it's back home. 11-18 coming into tonight's game against left-handed starters, so make that 12-18 now.
Manny Lee going after a curveball.
That young man right there has made a big difference in this Blue Jay infield with his play at second. And not only that, at the plate, came into this game hitting .282. He's upped his average 1 point.
Well, the plan, of course, was for Nelson Liriano to be the everyday second baseman. And he just couldn't get untracked out of spring training. Manny Lee at that time had shoulder problems, and he never had an awful lot of playing time.
How many teams wanted Manny Lee, and Pat Gillick didn't trade him? And look at how well he's playing now. Volador makes a good play and just gets Lee at first. 2 down.
They wanted Manny Lee as a shortstop, too, and at that time, Pat Gillick could not afford to give up Lee. As you take another look at Volador going behind the bag at second base, off-balance throw, and gets Lee, who has pretty good speed. But with Fernandez's health questionable out of spring training, they couldn't do anything to move Manny Lee at that time.
We'll mention it again, McGriff, a chance to hit for the cycle. No Blue Jay has ever done that before. And he needs the toughest hit of all, a triple. Extra base hit department. Just 2 behind George Brett. McGriff has been awesome this season. Slugging percentage, he is 3rd in the American League, right behind Winfield and Greenwell. On base percentage, he is about 9th in the American League, a .394 on base percentage. That'll go up somewhat tonight. And he's caught looking. So we're finally heading to the bottom of the 9th. The Blue Jays lead it 12-2. You're watching Labatt's Blue Jays baseball on TSN. Bottom of the 9th inning. Jim Clancy on the mound for Toronto. The Jays lead it 12-2. So they should hang on and win this one and make it 4 out of 5 now in this road trip. Tomorrow night they'll send out Mike Flanagan to face Kirk McCaskill in Game 2 of this series. And into center field, Campusano coming in. He won't get it. And it rolls by him. He'll be charged with an error on that, as Schofield will have a base hit. He didn't know whether to try for it.
Well, he charged hard initially and then saw he couldn't get to it, tried to hold up, but he got too close to the ball. Now he can't get back to get himself in position. Tries to grab it barehanded, and it went right by him. He'll be charged with an error. Should have just put his chest in front of this one, but it hops up a little bit too high, and he was going backwards at the time.
Remember George Bell in left field the other day in Oakland.
Tried that barehanded grab, same results. Turned around and chased it.
Doug Davis. A high chopper, but it is in foul territory.
Davis looking for his first major league hit. 0 for 11 so far. Boy, there's a spirited fan trying to come up with a souvenir saying, if I'm staying here this long, I'm getting a baseball.
That's just the 6th appearance for Davis. He has made 3 starts. That hit him. So now the Blue Jays in a little bit of trouble. Schofield at second, Davis at first, and the batter will be Jack Howell.
Fastball gets away from Clancy, catches Davis on the elbow, and then, as so often happens, goes down and hits the catcher. Galen Cisco looking on. Would like to see a little better results for Jim Clancy out here. He gave up a 2-run homer to Brian Downing in the 8th inning. And now he's given up 4 hits since coming on in the 7th. In relief of Jeff Musselman, who was outstanding. Scattered 4 hits over 6 innings and didn't allow a run.
You know, all of Clancy's starts this season, he usually has trouble the first inning, but came on here in the 7th, retired the side in order, and then got into trouble in the 8th. High ball, left field. Mosby makes the play. Tagging and heading down to third is Schofield. While Davis stays at first. So Devon White, the center fielder, will step in. He's 2 for 4 tonight. Pair of singles.
White singled off Clancy into left field. Back in the 8th inning, came around to score on Downing's homer. Good cut on a breaking pitch. Clancy's not having too much fun out there tonight in trying to get his act together. Jimmy Wilson wants to shift the defense a bit as he whistles to the infielders. Yes, he did. He went around trying to hold his swing on that low fastball.
You know, in the first week of May, White underwent knee surgery.
Williams wants the defense moved around a little bit. And he'll have Liriano play up the hole as you see him shifting towards second.
Clancy ahead, no balls, 2 strikes. Well, the player of the game for Toronto tonight is, without question, Jeff Musselman. Turned in a brilliant 6 innings, gave up just 4 hits, struck out 1 and walked 2. Dwayne Ward will be our guest on Extra Innings immediately following this game. As White went around, 2 down. For Clancy, that's his first strikeout, and that'll bring up Gus Polidor.
Good hard slider. Devon White saw it, thought it was a fastball, tried to check his swing right at the end, but he couldn't do it. Tim Welke, the home plate umpire, rung him up. Tim McClellan, I said Welke. That's the wrong Tim.
It's getting late, isn't it? Polidor seldom finds his way to home plate. The guy that they use defensively and in situations like this. So Clancy 1 strike away from ending this one. 12-2, Toronto leading. 15 hits for the Jays, 8 for California. Blue Jays have made a couple of errors. And this is a situation where Jim Clancy will get a save. 3 innings.
Protected the lead.
What's that? Let's have a look. Is that his first save ever? We'll get John Pickett, our chief statistician, to look that up if this is Clancy's first Major League save ever. He might have picked one up. First couple of years up.
Never.
Never? This is it?
This could be it.
And this will be it. Lee'll touch second and get the force on Doug Davis. So Jim Clancy records his first Major League save. The Blue Jays win it 12-2, but it was a game that Jeff Musselman, the stand-up, along with Freddie McGriff, who had a single, a double, and a home run, his 19th home run of the year. Gruber got his 12th home run, and Mosby his 8th. Blue Jays win it 12-2. You're watching Labatt's Blue Jays baseball on TSN. Baseball has been brought to you by Petro-Canada Dealers and Agents. Our energy is Canada. And by General Motors of Canada Limited. This has been a special presentation of the Sports Network, produced in association with TV Labatt by authority of the Toronto Blue Jays, and may not be rebroadcast in any form without the express written consent of the Blue Jays. The final score, Toronto beating California 12-2. The winning pitcher, Jeff Musselman, his first one of the year. The loser, Chuck Finley at 5-9. And Jim Clancy records his first Major League save. The Labatt's players of the game for Toronto, Jeff Musselman. He'll receive the Hitachi 3D Super Woofer. And for California, Brian Downing. He'll receive the new Canon Sure Shot Multi-Telly. As well, an amateur baseball team will be the guests of Musselman and Hitachi at an upcoming game. Blue Jay relief pitchers receive the Skills Super Twist Cordless Power Screwdriver. When the pressure's on, count on skill. And Electro Blade, a new revolution in blade shaving by Remington. Major League Baseball next on TSN. Tomorrow evening at 10:30 Eastern as we bring you Game 2 of this series between the Angels and the Jays. And on Thursday, July 21st at 7:30 Eastern, the Expos will be in Cincinnati to face the Reds. And our baseball magic winner tonight, Dee McConnell of Parry Sound, Ontario. Now stay tuned for extra innings. And our guest will be Blue Jay pitcher Dwayne Ward. We'll be taking your calls in just a couple of minutes.